Hey everyone, it's Julie Moon with Finovate, bringing you another 25 in 5. That is 25 questions in 5 minutes. Today I'm joined by Steve Frook, who is SVP of Global Sales for Horizn, one of our FinovateFall demoing companies. Steve, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, thanks for having us, Julie.
Okay, so I'm going to set the timer here for 5 minutes, and then we are going to jump right into things. So Steve, how's your week going so far?
The week's been fantastic. We've been busy getting ready for Finovate, working on our demo, so it's been a lot of fun. And Julie, I was able to come into the office for 2 days this week too, so that was pretty cool.
Exciting. What would you say is your spirit animal?
Well, I had to look up what a spirit animal was, first of all, but I took an online test and I was able to determine that I'm a wolf, which really stands for sharp and intelligent and an appetite for freedom. So I think that sounds pretty close.
Very good. What is your favorite remote communication channel?
Yeah, well, I'm a bit old-fashioned. I still use email, text, and phone, and Julie, sometimes I use them all at once. So
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Multitasker. When you're not working, what is one thing that you love to do?
Yeah, I love spending time with my family and specifically playing sports. So I've got a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old, so we're golfing, playing tennis, paddleboarding. We kind of do it all, so it's a lot of fun right now.
Wow, lots of activity. What will be the most overrated fintech trend of 2020?
Ooh, tough question. I'm gonna go with chatbots, and I think they have a lot of opportunity in the future. But it seems like every time I use it, I end up having to get a human involved. So I think chatbots have a lot of opportunity going in the future. But right now, I think they're just a little bit overrated based on where they're at.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah. What will be the most underrated fintech trend of 2020?
Interesting. Well, when banks get it right, I think hyper-personalization via big data and AI is super exciting. So that concept of being able to serve up the right message to the right customer at the right time when it works, it is awesome. And I think more banks will be investing in that area and focused in it. So a lot of opportunity there as well.
Mm-hmm. What will be the top fintech trend of 2021?
Well, I'm going to answer a bit biasedly because this is exactly what Horizn does, so may not come as a huge surprise. But I'm really bullish on humanizing the digital experience. So ensuring that all customers are able to understand all of the capabilities that the bank has to offer, how to use them, how to become fluent in them, and then most importantly, to ultimately adopt them. So I think in 2021, it's going to be all about humanizing the digital experience, hopefully with Horizn.
Yeah, there you go. Do you own more digital assets or precious metals?
Well, actually, neither. So I hold no crypto, nor do I invest in precious metals. So I think I'm more of a real estate investor than either of those two.
Very good. Which fintech do you use on a day-to-day basis in your personal life?
Well, I recently switched to Wealthsimple to help manage some of my finances. And I got to tell you, it is super easy to use, very intuitive. It gives you, a bit of flexibility. And well, the returns have been all right so far as well. So right now, I'm a big Wealthsimple user.
There you go. Shout out to Wealthsimple. Very nice. What is your worst habit?
Oh, I think my worst habit is always being connected. So just that idea of always having my phone with me, always replying to things. And while that can serve me very well, I think it would also be good to once in a while put technology around and go, God forbid, but unplugged. Can you imagine?
Yeah, yeah, it's hard to imagine. What is your best habit?
Well, my best habit is running, and I started using a Strava app recently and joined a group with a bunch of colleagues. So not only are you getting exercise, but then you also find yourself competing with others. So I think that's a pretty good habit to have.
Yeah. What has been your favorite quarantine ritual?
Well, I think my favorite quarantine ritual has been getting up early. So every morning I've been getting up at 6 a.m. I have a standing meeting at 7 a.m. with one of my colleagues, and then on the other end, making sure that I get to bed on time as well. So not traveling, not being on planes, etc., really allows to be able to have a good sleep schedule, and I think that's one of my best habits during quarantine.
Great. What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
Well, I think the advice that I would give is that it's a long game, that life is a long game. And when you start thinking about your career and you start thinking about all of the different components, in your life that it's a long game. When I look back to 20, I was really, trying to do everything at once. And I think if the advice I would give myself again would be just to plan things out a little bit and to realize that it's a long game and to enjoy every moment along the way.
What is your favorite part of your job?
It's easy. So we sell to financial institutions exclusively, and we get to speak with some of the most senior digital officers of the bank. So we get to clearly understand the new projects, new capabilities that they're releasing, understand what their business objectives are, and then fortunately we've got a great product to be able to help them as well. So I think really being able to be at the heart of the center of the digital revolution is easily my favorite part of the job.
Cool. What is your least favorite part of your job?
Well, that's also easy. And as I mentioned, we deal with financial institutions. So when you create a partnership with a financial institution, one of the things you have to go through is info security. So I think my least favorite part is sort of managing the discussions to be able to get the green check mark and, of course, clear the info security hurdles that exist with banks.
Very important, yes. How many Finovate conferences have you attended?
I had to go back and count, and it's pretty exciting that this will be our 8th conference that we're attending from Finovate. So we've attended lots of them. We've been up on stage on a bunch of them as well. And actually in January, we won Best in Show at Finovate Europe. So sort of our last conference, but absolutely love the Finovate conferences.
Very cool. Which enabling technology will prove to be more impactful, AI or the blockchain?
Oh, well, I think I would say both are extremely impactful. If I had to pick one, I guess what I would go with is AI. Pretty exciting things being done with AI, and I think we're only scratching the surface from that category.
Yeah. If you didn't work in fintech, what industry would you be working in?
Is there another industry other than fintech? Oh my gosh! So I've been involved with financial services since it's probably 20. But if I was to go into another one, it would probably be real estate investment. The concept of buying, planning, building something new, and then selling and sort of repeating that over and over again certainly interests me.
Yeah. What are you most hoping to get out of FinovateFall this year?
It's easy. So I'm the head of sales for Horizn, and what we're going into Finovate for is to be able to talk to new financial institutions that we have not been engaged with, be able to talk to them about how our solution can help them get more of their customers digital and also get more of their digital customers utilizing more of their capabilities. So we're excited to participate in Finovate and, of course, make some new connections and ultimately forge some new partnerships with financial institutions.
Yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of companies and banks will be looking for digital solutions, so it sounds like you're in the right game. What session are you most looking forward to at FinovateFall?
Well, the demos, and I think what really makes Finovate, and as Finovate's expanded into other areas of the conference network, I really love how Finovate started, which was those 2 days packed full of fast demos, going through 7-minute demos. This year they're 10, and enabling someone to attend the conference and clearly see what is being innovated on from a global standpoint. So the demos are always my favorite, and we'll be demoing at this year's session as well. So look out for us and vote us for your favorite demo so we can win Best in Show again.
There you go, a plug there for yourself. What advice would you give to attendees looking to network in a remote conference environment?
Yeah, digital conferences are different than real conferences naturally. And I think the number one piece of advice I would give is try not to multitask. Now, we know when we get to go to the conference, we jump on airplanes, we jump in hotels, we then go to the conference, and it becomes a bit easier to unplug. Now, I think the same type of mentality is probably a good idea going into these conferences. That concept of you're at the conference, be at the conference, and be able to suck in as much new information as possible.
Yeah, good advice. What are you looking forward to most next year?
What am I looking forward to most next year? Well, I think it's the continual evolution from the digital world. Naturally, with the pandemic, we've seen digital go from a nice to have to, well, the primary way that banks are doing business. And I believe that's going to continue next year, and banks are going to be investing more and more heavily out of need, and that's going to bring a lot of excitement to the financial institution.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite meal to cook?
I'm a big red meat eater, so my favorite meal to cook would be a nice steak on the barbecue, along with some asparagus and a nice salad as well.
You can't go wrong. Yeah. What's the most memorable meal that you've ever had?
Well, I think I have to look back to maybe a Money 2020 event where we had a group out to Gordon Ramsay steak. And they do something called, I guess their signature dish, which is beef Wellington. So you got your beef tenderloin in the middle, wrapped with some pate, and then with a nice baking around it as well. And I'd have to look as that as one of my favorite meals that I've ever had. So.
Very nice. Yeah, that sounds really good. Last question, what are you having for lunch today?
Well, I was going to have a salad, but now with all this talking about steak, I'm starting to think about steak. But it'll likely be a traditional salad for lunch.
There you go. We got to keep it healthy. All right. Well, Steve, that came in, oh my gosh, 10 minutes and 13 seconds. So we went a little long, but that's okay. This has been Steve Frook, SVP of Global Sales for Horizn. And to our audience, thank you for joining us as well. Be sure to check out Horizn at their booth to learn more.